John Kavakis here for My Take. Today we're going to be unboxing Brooklyn's 1937 Chrysler Imperial C14 two-door convertible. Now in 1937, the difference between the regular Chrysler lineup and the Imperial lineup was not all that great. They looked very similar to each other. The Imperial had a longer wheelbase, had a longer hood. The Imperial came with an 8-cylinder, 274 cubic inch, 110 horsepower, 8-cylinder, and the Chrysler came with a 6-cylinder. Of course, the Imperial had a far more luxurious interior. Given the time, it was far more luxurious. It had flush gauges, flush controls. These were promoted as safety items. There was a heater and a clock, cigarette lighter. There was built-in defroster. The regular cars didn't have these things. And there was an antenna. So it came with the 8-cylinder, 3-speed synchro mesh with overdrive, and at 110 horsepower, it was fairly well equipped and fairly powerful for its time. Chrysler was up against some very heavy competition in the luxury field. Duesenbergs, Pierce Arrows, all of those legendary names from just before the Depression and during the Depression. And Chrysler promoted themselves as the value luxury leader. So they weren't quite as expensive as some of the custom cars, and they took advantage of that. They took advantage of the new safety features that they had introduced on the car. It was a successful year for Chrysler. They made 86,000 C14s. Of those, only 351 were the two-door convertibles, and Brooklyn's given us a model of it. Now this is a car from the Bulgari collection. It was a barn find, Pennsylvania, 2005, refurbished in 2013, and it's in a color that's known as Brewster Green Metallic. It's Brewster Green Metallic, which is an incredibly dark green. So as I get it under the box, out of the box, I take a look at it. It looks black to me, but on closer inspection with greater light, I can see the green in there with an incredibly fine fleck. Must have been a very luxurious paint for the time. The car is well detailed. There's great trim around the hood with dimension to it, nice hood ornament. The grille is nicely black washed. The front and rear fenders are well detailed with the little grooves running through them. The headlights are well picked out, but there's no lenses in them. The wheels are really well done. I'll show you pictures of this. They've done a great job with the wheels. There are no white wall tires on it, and we've come to expect white wall tires on our luxury cars, but that's a uniquely North American thing. That's not the way they see luxury cars over in Europe. So this one has the black wall tires. There are nice little details, door handles on the outside. The handle on the rumble seat on the outside is picked out. There are door handles on the inside and window cranks on the inside. Nice period correct steering wheel. And the dash is that dash is not real well defined. It could be done better, but the interior looks pretty sharp, and with all the trim and the little doodads they have on the outside, it's just a nicely turned out model. And I think they worked hard on the color on this one and got it right. So it's a beautiful little model. Let's go to the 5-star rating. For fidelity, I'm giving this a 5. They really captured the look of the car. Trim, lensing, and badging. Again, with the lensing and some of the trim, they've done a good job on some parts of the trim, but it lacks the lenses. I'd like to see those. So I'm going to give lensing and badging a 3. Color, 5. Interior detail, 3. That dash could be picked out a little bit better, but they have done a good job with the jewelry on the doors and the trim around the doors, so I don't want to knock it too hard. Wheels and tires here, I'm going to give it a 4. The wheel covers were well replicated, a little bit more dimension to them. We talked about that before and the difficulties doing that 1/43. So here's the big news on this one is the value. At 121 pounds and $162, It's just a fantastic value. So for value, I'm giving it a 5. It's a great white metal model for well under $200 or so. So that takes our total count up to 25 and gives a solid 5-star rating of 4.0. So Chrysler's 1937 Imperial C14 2-door convertible gets a 4.0 on my stars. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll be back with you again sometime soon.